Good afternoon, my name is DanielleCampos. I'm an EDU673 student at Liberty University, and this is my virtual field experience presentation. One of the things I read in our textbook was that teachers today face classrooms that are increasingly diverse, both culturally and linguistically. They must motivate students to attend to learning in environments dominated by external influences such as sports, television, social networking, texting, video games, and the internet. One of the most important influences on student achievement is the relationship between the teacher and the students. And this is something that I really took to heart as I went through this assignment, in keeping in mind that we are creating a learning environment, but that there are students in that learning environment that we must create relationships with. In our assignment, we had to watch 5 videos, either on YouTube or some other source, that we could observe classroom lessons. I selected 5 English language arts classrooms ranging from 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. During those lessons, I was able to see different activities in reading comprehension, small group work, journaling, teacher lecturing, question and answering, probing by teachers, guiding practice before independent work, and then classroom management overall of time management, material distribution, and the like. From the 5 videos, which I really enjoyed watching, I was able to have 3 key takeaways. The first is preparation. As a teacher, planning sets you up for success. In the videos, I was able to see where teachers really put a lot of effort into their planning, and you could tell because they had things like PowerPoint presentations prepared and audio files set up and handouts and visual aids already ready to go for the lesson before the lesson even started. And it really enriched the lesson quite a bit. With that, all materials should be prepared and in position for smooth transitions. One of the biggest stalling moments in a classroom can be if you think that the stack of papers is one place and it's not. And it can cause chaos in those brief moments of not being able to find what it is that you're trying to hand out to your students. Also, lessons should be planned so that all activities are delegated at appropriate time. I could see this happening in the videos because some teachers would give verbal cues to their students, like, you have 5 minutes of independent reading, or you have 3 minutes to work with your group to answer this question, or in the next 2 minutes I want you to reread what we just read. So they were giving these verbal cues that tells me that they included that time management in their preparation. And you also want to anticipate for potential slow spots in a lesson. Plan ahead for those. For example, in one of the videos, there was classroom discussion, and the teacher anticipated that students may not willingly raise their hands. He had a cup that had numbers where he would pull out a number that was associated to a student so that he could generate that conversation and keep the lesson really flowing. The second takeaway was communication. We want to clearly communicate expectations to students. And when students know what is expected of them, they are always more likely to perform well. In the video, I saw teachers handing out rubrics during their lessons so that the students would have a hard copy of what the expectation was. They were also showing on smart boards lesson plans and expectations for the day. So they were delivering these expectations in more than one mode. Not all of our students are visual or audio learners, so we need to provide to them multiple ways in which they can see what the expectations are. Teachers were also mentioning in the videos that they could find the lesson requirements online on classroom websites. So that's another great way to deliver expectations. The teachers were using guided practice to expand on the expectations. So if the students weren't as familiar with an activity, the teacher was going through it with them so that they did have a clear understanding of what was expected of them. And then I really appreciated in one of the videos that a teacher talked about reaching students where they are at that moment. And she made an effort to greet each of her students individually at the beginning of the day so that when they walked into the classroom, it already opens up that expectation for communication and for respect for one another. The third takeaway was support. And clearly we need to support all of our students. I could see this happening in the video by teachers providing differentiated instruction to the different groups of the class. If they would do the classroom instruction and then recognize that certain groups or certain students in groups might need a little bit more guidance and would address those with more direct instruction. It was great to see these teachers remain engaged during individual and group work time, not just sitting down at their desk, but actually walking around the classroom and remaining engaged with students. They also provided additional resources to the students, things like handouts, additional websites to read, an English language learner worksheet, the different things that students might need. What these teachers did was recognize that each student as an individual brings value to the class. One of the lecturers talked about how students learn in different ways, and it really emphasized that understanding that each student brings a value to the class. And I hope to take all those things with me to my classroom.